This video is made possible by Francisco Herrera Jr. at the Honda Superstore of Joliet. Francisco is a longtime car enthusiast who is dedicated to finding the perfect vehicle for you. Email him at the address on the screen or contact him with his information found in the description below. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2023 Honda Accord Sport Hybrid. Up front is a 2.0 liter inline 4 as well as a hybrid system, and down below is an eCVT. Now I am super excited to be driving this Honda Accord Sport Hybrid because it is all new for 2023. Honda has been going through quite the lineup change in the last 2 years. In the last 2 years, they have updated the Honda Civic to a new generation, the HR-V to a new generation, the CR-V to a new generation, and now this year, the Pilot and this here Accord. So, showrooms look drastically different than they did 2 years ago, and that's always exciting, especially here for the Accord. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers and other merchandise when it becomes available. You could also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you get a video of your car just like this one. And you could read my behind-the-scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 2-liter and hybrid system. Well, paired up together, it makes 204 horsepower. So this is the most powerful option right now for the Honda Accord. They no longer offer the 2-liter turbo out of the Civic Type R in this vehicle, which is sad to see. However, there is another engine offered. It is the 1.5-liter turbo that you'll find in the Civic and CR-V, and that only makes about 194 horsepower. So the hybrid is the most powerful option with that electric motor. And of course, you have other hybrid benefits. Now, like I said, paired to it is an eCVT. It's fine. It does the job. I don't really mind it. For Honda's hybrids, they usually stick with some type of variable transmission, and so it's par for the course at this point. Last but not least about the drivetrain, of course, the Accord is front-wheel drive. There is no all-wheel drive Accord offered, which in the category of mid-size sedans is pretty standard. So how does it feel to actually drive the Honda Accord Sport Hybrid? Well, it drives like any other Accord. I'm not really being blown away in any category. However, one thing that I noticed is that it does have a little bit harder of a ride than I would have expected. Not to say that it's bad. I'm not driving a Yugo GV from 1987, but it's just a little bit stiffer than I would have previously thought. Other than that, steering is great, throttle's great, visibility's good, all pluses in the rest of the categories. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I do get digital gauges. This is very traditional for modern Hondas. They've pretty much almost all switched over to digital gauges. Off to the very left, I have my battery level. Then I have basically a tachometer, but this is my power gauge. And then off to the right, I have my speedometer and fuel. And of course, I can customize it with a bunch of different menus and options as well. I really like these gauges. I think they're clean and simple. They're easy to read. And Honda has always been known for that, but it's nice to see that they kept that while switching over to digital gauges. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my skip track, volume, and voice commands, as well as my little scroll wheel for that gauge cluster screen I can change. And then off to the right, I have my adaptive cruise control options, as well as lane keep assist. The overall steering wheel feels fresh, feels modern, and that's exactly what I look for in a redesigned car. Off to the left, I do have a very interesting climate control vent. Sort of almost looks Art Deco to me, but in silver instead of gold. And then on the door, I have my power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do have the infotainment screen. The Accord finally gets the new infotainment system from Honda to join the rest of the lineup, which I really like. It is completely touchscreen, where in some Hondas, there are physical home buttons off to the left. This is all touchscreen. And for the hybrid, I do get a power flow screen, which is really cool, really useful information, especially for geeks like me. And of course, the backup cameras from Honda have always been solid, always been one of my favorite parts of these cars, So I'm happy to see that here in the new Accord Sport Hybrid. Then I do have a volume knob, which is kind of out of place. I wish that they would have put it either more down low or up on the screen, but like I said, it's all touchscreen, so I guess that wouldn't have made sense. Just feels kind of out in the open. Then I have more climate control vents in the hazard switch. This really reminds me of the Civic that was redesigned last year, as well as it has that same sort of pattern we talked about with the vent by the steering wheel. Then we have the climate controls. I do get dual zone, which is fantastic to see. Of course, auto climate, and the knobs have great tactile feedback. Really love that about them. Then I get two USB ports, one to go into the radio and one for just charging, a giant cubby, and then we come to the center console. Off to the left is the shifter. This is a pretty traditional shifter you'll find in most Honda sedans, and I like it. Down below, we do have the drive mode. So there's several drive modes you can select here. There's individual, but this is going to be customized to you. Then there's sport, normal, and econ, all of which are fantastic in my opinion. Then I have an EV button. So this will put the vehicle into EV mode so you can drive just off of your battery. I think this is incredibly smart, really nice that you get your own button for it, and definitely a big perk of the hybrid. Then I do have a power parking brake and brake hold down below. Again, features that I really like. But then off to the right, we do have cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the brand new Honda Accord Sport Hybrid. And without question, the Honda Accord passes the big friggin' bottle test. Modern Honda has been doing really well with the big friggin' bottle test. They might be the leaders. And so I am happy to see that here in the Accord Sport Hybrid, it also passes with flying colors. Then we do get a center console with a 12-volt outlet in it. And then we gotta talk about the seats. The seats are cloth. They're not leather. They're not anything nice. If you want nicer seats, you can go up to like the Touring. But honestly, I don't find them uncomfortable. They are power, which is very nice. So at least it has that going for it. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go do back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2023 Honda Accord Sport Hybrid. And a couple of things to note. First of all, knees are not hitting the seat in front of me. Head is coming a little close to the ceiling, which I don't remember happening with the previous gen Accord. I could be misremembering it, but here is my quick little recap from the previous gen. Headroom is great. I'm 5'11", and I don't have a prayer of really hitting the ceiling when I'm sitting straight up. But my knees, this is actually my driving position, my knees have tons and tons of room in front of them to where I can actually scoot down, relax. I can move my legs fully. Back here, this is really great. So that's how I felt. This back seat is pretty decent. I don't get any vents back here, which I would have liked to have seen. But again, the Camry hybrid that I just filmed also didn't have vents in the back. So comparing the two, they're pretty on par with one another. I just get power windows. And I do get a center console with two cup holders in it, but not much more to report past that. Let's hop out. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the Honda Accord Hybrid Sport, Sport Hybrid, Hybrid Sport, 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 Sport Hybrid, and pop it up like that. We do have a button on the key fob, and you do get a very large trunk. This is what I expect out of midsize sedans. This is one of the big benefits of choosing this over the Honda Civic, because honestly, from the doors forward, that's pretty much Honda Civic, but from the front doors back, rear seat room benefits and trunk definitely benefits from the bigger chassis. Nothing interesting in here. You do have a pass-through, albeit kind of tiny, and you do get some fix-a-flat and an inflator down below. Other than that, nothing crazy, but that's the trunk space in the new Honda Accord. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and first of all, this is one of the biggest changes for the 2023 model year, is that they completely revamped the design of the car, which I think it still looks like an Accord, which is nice, but it does look a little bit more modern. It definitely now looks on par with the CR-V, HR-V, and Honda Civic. I think they all sort of look related again, where there's this sort of middle point where they updated the Civic and HR-V, but not the CR-V or the Accord, so they kind of look mismatched, but now they all look like they're from one family, and I love seeing that. I also love this color. I specifically asked the Honda dealer for the blue color because I think it would pop in the thumbnail, and it's better than the blacks, grays, and whites that they offer. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Honda Accord Sport Hybrid. Well, I have to say I am pretty happy with it. The only downside that I really found while driving this car was the ride quality. It was a little stiffer and a little bit harsher than not only I remember with previous Accords, but for vehicles in this class and segment. The midsize sedan segment is normally a decent mix of sort of luxurious options, bigger sedans, more space, but not breaking the bank necessarily. And at $32,000, this car fits right into that range. It's not terribly expensive, but it's not cheap, and it has some definite nice options over compacts like the Civic or Corolla or Mazda 3 or things like that. So that ride quality was just a little shock to the system. But besides that, I love the hybrid system. I love the 2-liter inline-4. Probably my favorite engine, if not one of the 2 favorite engines I have from Honda, the other one being the J35 3.5-liter. I like the interior design. It's not super in your face, but it feels modern. It feels fresh. It doesn't feel super dated like the outgoing Accord kind of did. Of course, I miss the 2-liter turbo option that was offered in the previous Sport. Of course, I'll miss that. I think everyone on planet Earth will miss that option. But as a car, as a hybrid, as a sedan you can buy today with no miles on, I think the Accord Hybrid is really, really good. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I also have a Camry Hybrid video that is on my channel that I'll link at the end of this one. If you're comparing the 2 vehicles, the Camry and the Accord, please go check out that video as well. But huge thank you to Francisco Herrera Jr. at the Honda Superstore of Joliet. He's been absolutely awesome to work with. I was so excited to finally drive the brand new Accord. It did not disappoint, and that is all thank you to Francisco. He's also a car enthusiast. He's just a down-to-earth guy, and he'll find the right vehicle for you, whether that be an Accord, or maybe that's a CR-V or a Civic or HR-V or any of the other fantastic Honda products. Francisco is your guy, and his contact info is in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.